Hi there, everyone. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you on today, the 8th of October, 2013. Typhoon Danas continuing the cruise off here towards the north at a fairly fast pace, starting to get wrapped up with the mid-latitude winds here, and this is just going to get carried and rushed off there towards the northeast, going through the next 48 hours. At this time, the good news with this storm system, several things of good news. It is weakening, it is moving very, very fast, and the track has edged a little bit farther here towards the north. And the track moving right over Tsushima, Vice going right down here along coastal areas does make quite a big difference because it's going to result in the difference between full-on typhoon strength winds and tropical storm strength winds. And at this time, it does look like unless you're out here on the island of Tsushima, you're probably not going to be seeing at least sustained typhoon strength winds gusting out across much of this area. Very well still possible, even out there towards Busan and extending all the way out there towards the west. You still could be seeing some tropical storm strength winds. But at least according to JMA and J2WC, we do expect those max winds really to remain offshore. But you're still going to be seeing some pretty strong rain bands as well come through. And this is just the radar imagery out of Kyushu. You can already see some of these areas in the reds and yellows. These are indicating about 50 to 80 millimeters of rainfall per hour. So risk of flooding there. But also some of these could even have some embedded tornadoes in the middle of them, some lightning. And plus, to mention the waves coming on shore here up to about 8 to 10 meters high. So this is just the latest track from the Japan Meteorological Agency. Winds at 70, gusting up to 100 knots. Still a strong typhoon, pressure at 960 HPA, so still fairly low out here. The eye has started to fill in, though. We are seeing a lot of dry air wrap around it, so it is going to quickly rush off here towards the northeast. Still moving at 30 kilometers per hour. But as it does push off here towards the northeast, we're going to be seeing these winds really start to kick up going through the afternoon hours here. And this is actually right around 3 p.m. Japan Standard Time, according to the ECMWF model. They're fairly good on these short range under 48-hour forecasts, and you can see it just pushing south of Jeju. Then it's going to push out there towards Tsushima, but the bulk of those winds, see these areas in the darker reds, those are those typhoon strength winds. It does look like it should remain offshore, but some coastal areas you still could see it, especially along Nagasaki off towards Saga. You could get some funneling effects coming into around the Sasebo area down in here, so that's something to continue to watch out for. Fukuoka extending out to around 6 to 8 p.m. You're going to be seeing the rain showers really start to kick up there for you. Also, those very gusty winds before this rushes past Busan, going through the evening hours as well into the overnight hours. Then it's just going to start to run the coastal areas of Honshu. So through the evening hours here on Tuesday, coastal transit, I do think tropical storm strength winds for the most part, but typhoon strength wind gusts very well likely, and you could still see, especially along Nagasaki, I don't want to rule it out, but some sustained typhoon strength winds are still very well likely out here, and it very well still could be rather damaging as it comes through, especially if people have not prepared. I mean, you can see right here, this is going into the evening hours. You got Nagasaki under those areas in the darker red. So we want to continue to keep a very, very close eye on the storm system through the coming days. Not to mention this, but upwards about 100 to 180 millimeters of rainfall still anticipated across portions of Kyushu and western Honshu. So there's a very serious risk of some flooding there as well. But as our storm does race off there towards the north, what we're going to notice is a lot of dry air quickly wrapping in behind it. So this is going through, well, Wednesday early morning conditions will really be drying up very quickly behind the storm system. Then it's going to race off there towards the northeast. You'll see a little bit of a break across Japan as far as the rainfall. I mean, you're still going to be seeing some enhanced rains due to the mountains here in western Honshu, but it's really northern Japan that's going to take the brunt of this by the time we go ahead into Wednesday. You can see here by Wednesday evening, we still have some showers lingering around portions of Nagoya. Tokyo might see some cloudy skies and a passing shower, but just take a look off here towards the north, southern Hokkaido, Aomori. I know we got people out here watching from Misawa, watching this very closely by Wednesday evening. You're going to be getting hit, maybe not so much the intense winds, but some pretty heavy rainfall. Tropical storm strength winds possible out here, sustained, but some of these thunderstorms kicking up with this is these mixed mixed up with the frontal area are really going to be creating that risk of some also lightning and damaging winds. So a lot happening with this storm system as it does run along the coast and off there towards the northeast. This is just another look at that same model I was showing you, just pulling back the picture, and you can see it rushing across the Tsushima Strait right along coastal Japan and then moving out there over northern Honshu and southern Hokkaido. And that becomes a very large extratropical low moving off there towards the northeast. But take a look at that. Models have been, at least GFS has been rather persistent on this developing system in the wake by next weekend. There in the Philippine Sea, and another one north of Guam. Although this model is alone on this scenario, ECMWF, very similar output, but they do expect this one to start to move over the Philippines by next weekend. NavGem, on the other hand, I'll switch it up here for you and show you what they're saying. They're keeping it relatively weaker, but a storm system developing, moving over the Philippines, and then developing into a full-fledged typhoon heading towards Vietnam. And then we still have our cyclone in the Bay of Bengal, which we're going to start to put some specific coverage out on that, pushing out there towards the west once this does get named. Sometimes we do venture out there towards the Indian Ocean and cover these storms as well. With the monsoon starting to let off out here, a very high chance of development with this storm system. So a lot going on today, as usual in the beginning of October. So with that said, if you got any questions or comments on any of these specific things I just mentioned, please post them down in the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there, everybody. Bye.